And here we go. So welcome back to another episode of Luminary Leaders Live. My name is Shelly Harrison. I'm your host for this show. We do this randomly, and we have wonderful people on these episodes. Today, I have Mary Sadat, and you'll meet her in just a moment. I wanted to mention that, and I've been kind of talking about this for the last couple of weeks, is the golf tournament that we're doing with the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce. So on June 14th, we have the Athletes and Warriors 2021 golf tournament coming up. We went to the course yesterday out in Temecula. It is gorgeous. So if you want to come out and play, we invite you to check out the website so that you can get signed up and registered to attend. We're also, we have a lot of different sponsors that are coming on board. I want to give a shout out to Harimari. I want to give a shout out to Tesla. And I know that we have more that are coming on board. There are more. I just can't remember them all. But without further ado, I want to introduce you to Mary Sadat. She is one of my very favorite collaborative partners, and we go back a few years. Mary Sadat is the principal and founder of Sadat and Associates. And in addition to that, she also, her company is one of our sponsors for my podcast show, which is Speaker Central. So we definitely appreciate Mary for that as well. So Mary, welcome to Luminary Leaders Live.
Thank you, Shelly. So appreciative that you are having me today.
Oh,
well, I love being on your show, and I love your shows, and I love the work that you do with all your people.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And I really appreciate that, Mary, because I know you and I we've done a lot of things together, and I'm excited because now I get to feature you. I would love for you to kind of share, what it is that your company does. And then we'll talk about a little bit about collaboration and also business development, things that you and I have done together. So can you share about Sadat and Associates for us?
Sure. Happy to. So obviously it's my last name plus associates, so not very creative, Shelly. But at the end of the day, after 30 years of being in startups and turnarounds with privately held and publicly traded companies, and it kind of give away my age here, but we're not gonna disclose. I launched Sadat and Associates in 2016, and my passion was working with privately held companies and helping them. One says taking to the next level of growth and revenue, but really more taking them to the next level of profitability, so that they can have the expertise of operations, business development, remove all the blocks of the barriers to revenue enhancement, if you will. And so I took the plunge and left the corporate world, and 5 years ago, actually, in March is when Sadat and Associates was launched. So the business has three aspects to it, and you're actually instrumental in me finally having a website and
and
all
it's
that.
Beautiful, by the way. I love your website.
To do all that. Well, you're always so good for what is always so good for one's clients, but when it comes to oneself, you gotta follow your own advice, right? And you need to push you to do certain stuff. So anyway, the three aspects of the business are: one, fractional, which means that an extension of a client's company. So rather than them hiring a C-level person at operations, business development, etc., they hire Sadat and Associates, and I become an extension of their company. So that's the fractional part. The other service is advisory. Very different from coaching, because it's completely based on numbers and finance and things that a client needs to do to get themselves to the next level of profitability. And the third and most recent launch of a little over a year ago is annual business assessment, which I'm very excited about. So I collaborate with Mueller Prost, and Greg Pfeiffer is my collaborative partner in this particular aspect of the business. And it's a roadmap that we create, very objective assessment tool that we create for companies. And it's just like an annual checkup that you get from the doctor. It's an annual checkup of your business at every aspect. Operations, vision, mission, business development, finance, accounting, complete head to toe of the business,
Very
with
comprehensive.
actual actionable items that need to be accomplished, and quarterly check-ins from our part with the client company to move them to the next level of growth.
Gosh. Yeah. And I know that, you've shared with me about the business that you just started with, doing these and I'm sorry, you mentioned the name and now it's like out of my mind.
That's okay.
Oh my gosh. I've never done this before. So folks, sorry about that. But the assessments that you do, that's the word I was looking for. So the assessments that you do, and you just started this, and I know you have, several
about a year
clients.
ago. We started a year ago.
It's
so
that
how
quick.
it evolved,
oh my goodness.
I know a year goes by so fast, Shelley. So it was actually pre-COVID that we started it, not knowing that COVID would hit. And we thought we were going to do it just locally in Orange County area, so that we would go to the client's office and do this 4-hour assessment. And COVID hit and technology came into play. And so it was the silver lining that we can do this all over the nation.
Exactly.
Mueller Pros is a nationwide company, but Sadat and Associates was not until recent. So,
right. I was going to say, now you are.
There's always something wonderful that comes out of something that we might view as negative.
Yes. And, and I really applaud you for doing that, because I think, and it has been, a year where I'm thinking, my gosh, I know that you had it in development, you came together and, you shared it with me. And I thought, gosh, that is a lot of businesses need that. They have their CPA, they have, other people that are helping them with their business. But really, when you look at it from, that 50,000 foot level, it's critical to have all those pieces, being kind of monitored and making sure that, that profitability piece is, in motion, right? And just the overall production of that company and efficiency and the operations, because I know that's an area that
all of the above. Absolutely. All of the above. And some of the clients that we've done this with, Shelley, which is very interesting, is they have consultants, and that's fabulous. And we invite the consultants to be a part of the process. But as one CEO stated, he said, I need a fresh set of eyes to look at us, because we've been we're working within the company, and we have not had that fresh set of eyes to provide us with the objectivity of, are we doing it right? Are we doing it wrong? Or is there more to the point, are there other perspectives to look at? So we value working with the consultants that are working with the company. It's not about, come hire us and, Mr. CPA or Ms. Consultant or Mr. Consultant, go away. No, we want to collaborate with them and just be this annual fresh set of eyes for the quarterly check-ins.
Right. It's a component that businesses can definitely benefit from. And like you said, working together, I think, if you're looking at a business, it's important to bring in all those key people or organizations or companies that help make that business thrive.
Correct. And thus the resources that Greg Pfeiffer and I have for this are really important, Shelley. So, people like yourself, people that are other people within our network, are very, very important, because obviously we may have to make recommendations to the client of people they need to work with to get to the next level of profitability.
Yeah, very good point. And, that kind of brings me to, collaborative and collaboration. I know you and I mean, we've done a lot of wonderful things together. And I want to give you a shout out, and also Deborah Curry, and the event that actually it was, my gosh, maybe 2 or 3 years ago when we first met.
Yes.
And I met Andrew Lopez,
Mm-hmm.
and Andrew would later become my videographer. He did some other projects with us for our clients, and now he's living in Scotland. So, Andrew, we're giving you a shout out, and Deborah for having the event. Deborah does wonderful work.
Yeah.
But let's talk about collaboration. What does
Yes.
that mean for you?
For me, Shelley, I think that, 35 years of my professional life, I have been a firm believer in collaborative partnerships as defined by the fact that we find angles to help each other. We connect the dots to help each other. We create trust. And then naturally, as an outcome of that, we develop business for ourselves, and we create profitable relationships, as I call it. But however, the key for me in collaboration has always been, and this started in 1985, it has not changed. The key has been that it hasn't been give me, give me, give me, but rather it has been reciprocal, and also with the development of trust. I
was going to
was
say trust. Yeah.
long-term relationships versus short-term. Today we're best friends. Tomorrow we don't know each other.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't serve a purpose for me and I don't serve a purpose for you. But rather, making sure that those relationships are long-term and trust is created. People do business with people. Your company, Luminary Leaders, does beautiful work. Beautiful work.
Thank you, Mary.
But at the end of the day, I know Luminary Leaders because of Shelley Harrison and who you are, because we've spent time together. We have broken bread with each other. We've been open and honest with reference to challenges that we may have had in our businesses. We've gotten each other's opinions on matters, right? And
absolutely have.
thus, this relationship is a forever relationship. I define that as a true collaboration.
Oh, yeah. And how Randall, so yay, Mary, combining energy for exponential results. Nice. Thank you, Randall.
Yes.
And I've talked with Randall before too. So thanks for chiming in, Randall. It's great to hear from you. Yeah. And
nice.
it's, when you talk about the collaboration, the trust, credibility with, the people that, that you kind of just connect with, whether it's a networking event or it's an online event, or just simply picking up the phone, or maybe someone that's been referred to you. I think that, that trust piece is so critical, really.
And you want to talk about how to create that trust, Shelley? You've got to walk the talk of what you do to what you say you do.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
so
mission
how many
critical.
times, right?
Yeah.
In other words, that's the credibility piece of developing the trust. So, I think that is sometimes not viewed as important.
Yeah. Well, and the follow-up too. I think, that's part of the trust piece, but I think the follow-up, because once you meet someone or you're introduced to them or they're referred to you, maybe it's an introduction, that follow-up piece can be very important too.
Right.
Because if you connect with that person and there's no follow-up, or, somehow it kind of, falls through the cracks or whatever, I think it's important to make sure that, that at some point you pick that back up and, acknowledge that there's been, a delay for whatever reason. And
exactly. And I think that is often misunderstood in terms of, we go meet people, we say, oh yeah, I'm going to contact you, blah, blah, and then we don't do it. Right.
Yeah.
And it's okay that, life happens, etc. But trust is based on walking the talk.
It
My
really
opinion.
is. It is. It definitely is. And I really want to give you a shout out because this is where that trust factor comes in. Where we had collaborated a couple years ago with one of your clients,
Mhm.
and you and I kind of worked together on this. Where
Mhm.
now that client is a big supporter of the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce, which is an organization that I'm part of. And, I really want to publicly say thank you so much, Mary, because there have been so many things that we've done together just by that relationship alone, where and coming up with the golf tournament, where your client has,
Yes,
he
yes,
sponsored the event.
yeah,
And I mean, it's wonderful. He's been very supportive, and I know that this is about you, this particular interview. But again, I think it's important just to show the kind of that synergy that we have,
correct,
with
correct.
knowing the key people to bring in and make sure that they have the right
Yes,
mindset and the right
right.
heart to be able to be part of that relationship,
Well,
you know?
again, it goes back to trust because you and I trust each other. We collaborate, and thus our clients, therefore, also will trust you and I. And so it's just a snowball effect of that collaboration that is long
Yeah.
term and not a short term thing of what can we do for each other today. And I think that's so
Right.
important because it's we're in a day and age where we're constantly inundated with give me, and I
Yeah, we
want to
talked about
develop
that
business
earlier.
and
Yeah.
profitability like now, right? And
Mhm.
that long term gain is what makes it happen. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm a testament to that because I did 30 years of startups and turnarounds,
Mm.
and you got to have your internal people trust you, and you got to have your external people trust you, and otherwise you
Mm.
cannot do startups and turnarounds. You've got to
No, and
gain that trust.
that, yes, yes. And, in alignment with that, so give our audience an idea of what kind of clients are a good fit for your services.
I think but the most important thing is that we have to be aligned in terms of our values.
Mhm.
And in the corporate world, when we're working for other people, Shelley, we sometimes we don't have the option, right? We've got to
Yeah.
we got to get them, to do certain things that may not resonate and may not be aligned.
Yeah.
Um, Mostly my companies are people the people that I work with, we need to be aligned in terms of our values and our number one.
Yeah. We're
There's,
we're the same with the clients we work with. Absolutely.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, just like you. And
Yeah.
then that way it can be a very productive relationship for both of us. Because we're coming from the place of foundation of vision and mission and
Mhm.
alignment of core values.
Yes, the core values. And sometimes it's good too. In fact, it came up last week, I think. And I really had to articulate my core values because there was, a business opportunity where I thought, okay, I really need to look at what my core values are.
Mhm,
And I stuck
mhm,
to it. And,
mhm.
sometimes you just have to really realize that, some things aren't a good fit, and you
Right,
just have to kind of go to that
right,
next
right.
level and take a look at, okay, well, I've learned from this. And now you're looking into something different, and new opportunities surface.
Correct.
So
It is
yeah,
so true.
I
So
know.
true. It's okay to say no. And
Hmm.
sometimes other people might be a better fit for that particular prospect.
That's right.
And
Exactly.
that's wonderful. That's absolutely
Hmm.
wonderful. And not everybody, it's not like one size fits all, right?
Yeah.
I certainly don't claim that I'm the right fit for everyone, and not everybody's the right fit for me, but we're just blessed with with uh, a myriad of professionals who might fit that
Mm.
individual.
Yes, exactly. And
And I
I
love
know.
growing companies. I love growing companies. I mean, I have to be
Mm.
honest with you. When this annual business assessment, our new launch of a little over a year and a half, after we do it, after we've spent 4 hours intensely with a client, Shelley, it
Mhm.
doesn't feel like work. It's
It's
like,
probably
it's
fun
so
because you just get
fun.
into the mechanics of things, and it
Yes.
is fun, and I know that feeling, Mary, because again, when I talk with a speaker or I talk with a presenter or an author, you really get into the story and the nuts and bolts of how they operate, what is their business model, and that in itself, I think is what brings business owners closer together if they're going to be business partners, or they're going to, maybe one
Right.
is, the client, and one is, going to be providing the services. But it's really good to hear though that you enjoy that, because 4 hours is very intensive, but it's also
Yes.
very productive,
Yes,
and
and
that
both of us. I mean,
shows.
Greg and I
Yeah.
constantly say, Shelley, that, boy, that was fun, because we get to really tap into all our
Yes.
years of experience.
Hmm.
And I'm older than him, so
Just by
got
a
a
few
little bit
months, right?
more gray hair than him, and than he. And so, yeah, but it just is so fun to be able to strategize and problem
Yes.
solve, and kind of provide some of some discussion with reference to objective steps that a company can
Yeah.
take now, and
Right.
create that accountability factor for them
Yeah,
with
and getting
quarterly
them
check.
involved to be part of the
Right,
solution. Yeah.
right,
And I
right.
know that you have an event. I know we're almost to the end of the broadcast here, but you have an event that's coming up. And would you like to share what's coming up on
Yes,
May
yes.
20th?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you. So
Yes.
we're very fortunate with the annual business assessment side of Sadat and Associates, that our clients have agreed to share their experience with us. And so we have an hour webinar about for people that are considering annual business assessment, or we're just trying to get the word out, frankly, with this event. And our clients have blessed us with their objective information about how they're liking it, how is it has benefited them.
And
And so it
go
is
ahead.
on May 20th, and it's a
Mhm.
webinar. And so I always tell people, the good news about webinars, you can be in your PJs and nobody
Yeah.
cares. So,
At least the bottom
and
half, right?
right, you don't
For
have
right
to dress
now.
up for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's on May 20th, and we have actually got it on LinkedIn. I've put it on my LinkedIn, and we've got an event post, and you're joining us, which is
I will
wonderful.
be joining. Yes, I'm looking
Yes.
forward to it because I happen to know a few of them that are going to be there, a couple of your clients. So
Oh,
I'm very
wonderful. I'm so
excited.
glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. So
Yes.
it's kind of exciting for us to be at the point where we can actually do this, and we actually have clients to do this with. So it's exciting
Yes.
for us to have reached this level.
No, that is wonderful, Mary, that you're doing that. And kudos to your clients for being willing to share,
Yes,
because
yes,
sometimes it's a challenge just to share, if there are obstacles or things that, they're ashamed to talk about, because there are a lot of business owners that, they have their ups and downs. I mean, knowing, we're
correct.
both
We
business
all
owners, and
do.
I
We
know,
all do.
we
Yeah,
all
none of
do.
us are perfect. We all have ups,
Yes,
we all
that's
have
right. We
downs,
try to
and
be, but we don't have to be. We don't have to be
yes,
perfect.
that word pivot has become the new word, right, Shelley? In
Yes.
2020, it became the word. But I mean, honestly, we're always pivoting, right? I mean, regardless
Yeah.
of
And
pivot
there's
or
change
not,
is inevitable. When you look at
it is inevitable.
the scheme of things, there's going to be change no matter what. And I think as long as we keep a very, open mind, stay positive, and don't look at it as though it's going to be a hurdle. It's going to be a
Correct.
learning opportunity. And that's what
Right.
I think that's what's helped me sustain, some of the changes that we've had to go through. And I'm sure
Yes,
as well
all
you
of
have.
us, all
Yeah.
of us. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I want to remind our audience, thank you for, chiming in today and being here with us. We are here with Mary Sadat. She is the principal and founder of Sadat and Associates. And we want to thank Mary for also her company being a sponsor for our podcast show, Speaker Central, and for all the greatness that you gave today, Mary. I mean, our relationship, I mean, we're friends for life.
Yes.
Yes. And I was hoping you would agree, but I felt
Yes.
pretty good about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
I hope it's
again,
a long life.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yes.
no, it's been wonderful just, getting to know you over the years, Mary, and trusting you and being able to turn to you for, from one business owner to another. And I want to wish you much success with the business assessments and again, your website. We have it strolling at the bottom or scrolling at the
Oh,
bottom.
thank you.
And
Thank you.
hopefully
Only
folks
took
can.
5 years, Shelley. So needed my friends like Shelley and others to
Oh,
nudge. Yes,
well,
appreciate that. That's why we all always need collaborate people we collaborate and trust to help
yeah.
us stay on track.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. It's definitely a good way of putting it. So again, thank you, Mary, and thank you to our audience. And I hope that you are able to watch the full replay if you're catching us at a later time. We did stream this live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So thank you again for joining Luminary Leaders Live. And again, my name is Shelley Harris, and I'm your host, and we will catch you next time. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Shelley.